The fulfillment of God's program in any dispensation, that includes our time, that includes our season, depends not just on his will, depends on the presence of available, willing, yielded, and trained men. 4 very important words: available, willing, yielded, and trained men. Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 18, we find, for an example, the prophets, having been cleansed, purified from every impurity within him, the seraph took the live coal and touched his tongue, and he says, your iniquity is taken away from you. Isaiah 6 and verse 8. And then he says, I also heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? There are things I want to do. There are things I want to say. There are possibilities I want to birth. I want a continuation of my program. But whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then Isaiah said, here am I, send me. So the fulfillment of God's program in Abuja, in Nigeria, in your family, are we together? In Africa, across the globe, in this dispensation, will depend on the presence of available, willing, yielded, and trained vessels. Now I wrote here, every man can be used by God, and in fact should be used by God. But unfortunately, not everyone will be used by God. Every man can be used by God. Every man, in fact, should be used by God in their lifetime to birth his purposes. But the sad reality is that not everyone will be used by God. You write and listen very careful. Very simple statement, but it's profound. That in appreciating the fact that God will always need men who are available, willing, yielded, and then trained, every man can be used by God. That includes you and I. It is God's ultimate desire that every man should be used by God. But the reality, sadly so, is that not everyone will be used by God. And the reason is because there are demands to being used by God. There are demands. It takes beyond availability. It takes beyond willingness. When you declare your desire to be used by God, there are demands. Being used by God ultimately is a work of grace. But then there are demands. And some of those demands are quite burdensome. They will cost you. I'll list a few of them for you in no particular order, but there are demands. And it's important that we know that there are demands. So the reason why you find out that in every generation, there probably may just be a handful of men, a handful of women who do so much exploits for the kingdom. We write about them. Others even write about them. We sing about them. We are inspired by their lives. Sometimes we build monuments in honor of and to their exploits. Whereas in God's mind, everybody should be a battle axe. Everybody should be used by God towards this kingdom come agenda. But because there are demands, I think it's one thing that most believers fail to understand, that it takes beyond a desire to be used by God, to be used by God.